In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why we don't want to trade around earnings. I'm going to show you a trade for which I made my daughter some money, but me, I'm down some $6,000. It happened fast. I'm going to show you these trades, and I'm going to show you exactly how important it is to not do what I did. But hey, look, before we get there, I'm going to tell you the story about the Millionaires Club. I think you're going to enjoy it. My main man, Jerry, and I have many stories to share, and this one was the first. Absolutely love it. I want you to stick around. And if you're not into that kind of stuff, just fast forward about 6 minutes in. We'll get to the good stuff. Hey, look, stick around. I know you're going to like this one.
Let me show you my eyes.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. It is time for another red hot covered call video. Well, today I've got a treat for you. I'm fired up because I'm going to actually show you how I placed a trade for my daughter and I placed a trade for myself. We're going to talk about both of these trades because what's very important is the expiration date and how my daughter made money and I absolutely got screwed. We're going to talk about this in this video, but I also have a couple other things I want to show you. I'll tell you what, over the past week, it has been one of my worst trading weeks in 2021. And I'll be honest with you, if we went back over the past 5 years for which I've had success after success, this may have been the worst week in the past 5 years. But look, I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to show you how you can up your game because whether I make money or not does not matter. Can you grab a little bit of information and knowledge from this video to up your game? See, that's the key here, and that's what we're going to do because what I'm going to show you today is going to up your game. Now, before we get there, I don't want to miss this milestone that I just passed this past week. Now, I'm going to take a picture of this because this is not where 2021 is going to end. I have some dogs that I'm probably going to take off the books. And I'll tell you, man, I need tax write-offs. When you have 2 consecutive years of making 6 figures, selling premium, putting money on the table so you can live the good life, retirement income, well, the tax man knows your name. And they're going to be coming at me again. If you remember last year, I paid some $28,000 in taxes. And trust me, they're waiting for my check this year. But the milestone is this. Over the past 2 years, 6 figures. Right now, that's over $8,000 a month, generating income. As you know, you've watched my channel. You know this is not about buy and hold. This is buying a stock, writing a covered call, or using our cash and selling a cash secure put. That upfront premium they pay us is the money we put on the table. Right now, November 6th, we're talking $101,000 cash on the table. Now, I've made reference to this. I have some unrealized losses. And I'll tell you what, it's no secret. I got stocks that are sitting on the bench and it's absolutely annoying the hell out of me. Not that I'm down on the stocks. It annoys me that I can't sell premium against the shares. Well, that's changing. I started this week with DraftKings, for which you know I'm in at 67 a share. Well, DraftKings is now trading for some 45 and they had earnings and it wasn't that good. Now, earnings aren't that bad. In fact, I think if you're not in DraftKings, this might be your moment to get involved. But for me, I'm kicked in the ribs. I'm down on the canvas. What I'm going to do is this. Just like last week, I'm going to go ahead and write 3-day covered calls. Now, we're going to talk about this where I'm going to use time decay to make potentially 70 to 80 cents on my 1,000 shares. Now, that's an awesome $700, $800 per week. So we got to get back into this game. I have been having FOMO with these stocks, and I am absolutely done. What you're about to see over the coming months is a guy that has a single mindset. The bills do not stop. I have to generate income to pay those bills. All right. We could talk about stocks that have gotten away from me and they've fallen and I'm in the hole some 12 grand. But at the end of the day, that bill keeps coming, right? The Verizon bill keeps coming. The energy bill keeps coming. I have to generate income. So I want you to have that half cup mentality. Got to have the half cup or else we are going to literally put our head in our hands, mope around until maybe we get lucky for which our stocks will go higher. We do not do that here, okay? So let's go ahead and get to this. I am fired up. I absolutely hope you enjoy this video. And Tell you what, if you want to come back and watch me battle through all of the dogs that I have on the books, well, guess what? You got to subscribe to the channel, man. I come back every week. I show you timely and relevant covered call trades, putting income in my wallet. And I'll tell you what, if you get your experience, right? You get the courage to open up your own small ball account and do your first trade. I get emails from people all around the world that have been inspired by the videos you watch right here from me, and they are now generating their income. They have their financial futures in their hands, and that really jacks me up, man, because it gives me purpose to come back to the channel and do these videos, okay? So, hey, look, if you like anything you hear today, I want you to bang that like button. It lets me know you like what I'm doing. Now, what we're doing is this. I'm going to share with you a little story before we get to those trades, okay? So hang in there. Jerry is my mentor, and I found out he's my best friend. Jerry and I met at the gym. We instantly had a bond and connection talking about the stock market. I've mentioned this many times. It's hard in life to find anybody to talk about stocks. I'll tell you, it is hard. People do not get excited talking about the stock market. Jerry became that soulmate for me, where we still, to this day, meet up. After the pandemic, I will go to his house, we will enjoy some beers, and we will talk options, man. We rarely talk about anything else. We love it. And I'll tell you what, back in 2013, Jerry and I went to the E-Money show in San Francisco. Never forget it. We went there to watch some cover call writers. Back then, we watched a seminar on oil ETFs because they were paying fat dividends. This was before 2015 when the oil market crashed. But Jerry and I was there to see one person, Ellman. You know him. And we watched his presentation about selling premium writing covered calls. I'll never forget it. We met Alan after the show, and I even have a picture I've posted up many times. Jerry asked Alan the question. Now, again, I'm not a covered call writer in 2013. I eventually become a cover call writer in 2016. Jerry mentors me, and to be honest with you, he is the one that absolutely gave me the confidence to be successful. Now, with that said, I'll never forget, Jerry says to Alan, he says, hey, how much money do I need? How much bankroll do I need to make $10,000 a month? And without a hitch, Alan looked at him and said, you need about $300,000. And for me, that just blew my mind. One, I'm thinking to myself, I can make $10,000 a month doing this? And also using $300,000 to generate the said $10,000. Now, Jerry and I left that conference. We had a great time. We ended up going to the Cheesecake Factory in San Francisco. I'll never forget it. We were able to get a table. We ended up buying a couple adult beverages, enjoying lunch. But from this moment, and I commonly refer to this moment as the Millionaires Club, because little did I know, this was the moment that for me, it would change my life. I had a great time there at that E-Money show, and I looked up to a lot of YouTubers, but Jerry is the one that moving forward, he answered all my dumb and simple questions for which would be embarrassing for me to ask today. But I learned. I absorbed it like a sponge. I got excited, and then I did it. And from that moment on, this picture represents what I call the Millionaires Club, largely because since that time, he and I collectively have made over $1 million in selling premium. And for me to have success in the stock market back then, when I was a horrible day trader, swing trader, no success, that was my moment for which I will never forget. I want to say thank you to Jerry right now. The Millionaires Club. You can have your own Millionaires Club. You just got to put in the time. You got to put in the work. These are the moments that I cherish. And to be honest with you, this is why I keep doing this. I want to pay that moment forward to you. Now, how you take my information, how you watch these videos and learn, that's going to be up to you. But I hope, if anything, I inspire and motivate you to have your very own Millionaires Club moment. All right, now, thank you for giving me that time. I absolutely love recounting my time with Jerry, and it truly is a moment that I remember, and I just carry it forward. I really do. So what I want to show you here is this. I'm going to show you an email I sent to the members real quick. But what I want you to see here is this. Don't worry about the number of views here. These posts go directly to my members as emails. So nobody's clicking on the blog post here. I want you to see how many communications my members get. And as you can see, I wrote an email last night talking about how I'm down with stocks. I may be down, but I'm not out. I wrote an email about IMAX and how I bought 400 shares for my son's account. We wrote a covered call, and IMAX is moving higher, absolutely trying to generate that $1,000 a month in his $10,000 account. Then I talked about Chegg. You saw that Chegg crashed. If you don't know who Chegg is, that's the online book selling company. Absolutely crashed. I wanted to send the members a note about, would I do a poor man's covered call? Because as you know, my number one rule with the poor man's covered call is when earnings happens and the stock crashes, that's our moment to jump in to buy that long leap. Now, I also did a Cisco seeing the world through John's eyes. Cisco has earnings coming, and based on last quarter, absolutely might get involved in Cisco. If you remember, the last time I wrote about Cisco, I talked about buying the stock, writing the at-the-money strike, picking up some 5% on a huge company. Call that keeping the lights on trade. And that's exactly what happened. Ended up buying back that Cisco option because the stock went higher. We went ahead and bagged that profit, part of that $101,000 I've made this year. And we went ahead, let the stock go. And here we are again. See, the thing I love about this is we worry about the next 30 days. And what comes will go, and what goes will come back. And I love it. And it's all about generating income over the next 30 days. Now, I talked to my members about me sitting on my hands, right? I mean, I have to sit on my hands during earnings because what I'm about to show you exemplifies that. Earnings will absolutely crush your ass. We're going to talk about that here with a stock that I bought. This is what I love to do. I love to send my members these emails, these communications, right? I want to make sure they see the world through my eyes. Now, whether I invest in this or not, you're seeing the world through my eyes, giving you ideas. But not only that, we talk about them. And if any of that interests you, you can go out, do your own research. And I put these out in a timely fashion. You could actually get involved in these things. Tell you what, the members love it. They tell me, and I keep doing it. Hey, look, I have so many ideas in this noggin up here. Love sharing it with the members. So look, if you want to be a part of it, I got a deal for you over the website. I'm going to say this one time. 1 free month offer. Join us. You'll get all the tools that I provide for free, all the videos I have that are on my upgraded CTP dashboard download hub that no one else sees. And you get all my emails and real-time trades. Okay? It's nothing. I give it away, but you do got to put skin in the game. But I'll tell you what, I don't think you'll regret it. Hey, look, if any of that interests you, would love to welcome you aboard. All right. I know what you're saying. Dude's 25 minutes into this video. He hasn't shown us the trades. Well, you're about to get it right now. Here's the email I sent to the members last night. And we're going to talk about Peloton here. Now, in the email, I talk about how I've been hammered with Penn, Peloton, Zillow, and what I plan to do going forward with those stocks. Now, I love the Penn trade. I'm going to talk about the Penn trade in the next video where I use the bad negative news that I think is short-term, generated serious income with a cash secure put at the money. Love that trade. And in fact, it's already in the money. You got to be ready for opportunity, okay? Hey, look, I may be down on Penn with my 300 shares, but at the end of the day, Penn offered an opportunity and I took it. See, it's half cup full around here, right? I sit on my hands. I would have never taken the opportunity to make money off this recent Penn fall, okay? Now, what I'm going to do with my 300 shares that I'm down some $40, well, that's to be determined. But we're going to take advantage of the situation right now, and that's what we do. So looking at Peloton, this is where I'm going to up your game because this is real world shit right here, okay? This is where I have made money and I have seriously lost money. And it has to do with earnings. So I'm going to go to the Peloton chart right now. I'm going to give you a little story about how I made money and how I lost money. And I'll tell you what, it's not over yet. I still own my 200 shares and I'm hoping I can get out at the loss that I'm hoping to get out at. All right, so here is the absolute disaster Peloton. Now, if you've been watching the markets, you've noticed that this earnings has literally crushed companies. I mean, we had Zillow being crushed, Peloton being crushed. Hey, look, the markets are priced for perfection, and if you don't give them perfection, you're going to get hammered. And Peloton got hammered to the tune of 35%. And it is a disaster. I mean, the way they're talking about Peloton, it's as if the company is going to go bankrupt. It's as if they sell a product for thousands of dollars, and all it is something to hang your dirty clothes on. Okay, that's how bad this has gotten. And my man, bye, ain't helping him when he talks about how he bought his wife a Peloton and that's all she does with it now. She hangs her clothes on it. I mean, this is brutal for Peloton, right? But here's the deal. It's all about earnings here, right? Prior to earnings, you can make hella bucks with Peloton. And I did. After earnings and the volatility that comes with it, I'm down hella bucks. We're going to talk about that here. Now, Peloton, I've talked about this. Peloton is a movement, okay? It's a movement. And people call themselves in this movement Peloton. Have you ever seen the commercials? You see the instructors on TV saying, come on, Peloton, let's do it, right? They got the Peloton weights, they got the treadmill, they got the bike, they got the clothing. You're thinking Peloton is this movement for which that niche of people will just buy their stuff, right? They're like the Lululemon, right? People go in, they got all this stuff they can buy, they go right to the Lululemon. When you have that kind of support, you would think that the company, right? The company and the stock would be supported and would go higher. Well, Peloton's found itself in a bad spot, but that doesn't mean we couldn't make money from it. And as it fell to support levels, and I did a video and email on this, where Peloton was trading near support. And I felt as it was heading into earnings, it was going to move higher. And that's exactly what it did. I went ahead and bought my daughter shares at 85. Okay, I think you might remember this. I sold the at the money 85. And I picked the October 29th expiration. Now, the reason I picked that expiration is I wanted her profits to be realized in October. See, I'm all about generating that $1,000 every single month in my kids' account. So I wanted this Peloton number to be represented in October. No other reason. Now, that turned out to be a blessing because when I stepped up and bought some Peloton shares for my own account, I bought 200 shares at 88. And when I looked at the premium, I did not adhere to the golden rule of avoiding earning. This is your lesson today because here is proof in the pudding. We need to avoid earnings. Earnings typically is a company's most volatile moment. I showed you in videos years ago where I used Nike, one of the biggest companies on the planet. They trade sideways to higher, but in a $10 range, even if they announce the next best thing. But when earnings hits, that thing moves in 10% clips. I showed you the chart, how it would fall 10% and rise 10%. This is one of the biggest S&P type companies, but because of earnings, that's its most volatile moments. Now, I love trading around earnings because we can get some juice to our premiums. And I've been doing this for 5 years. I get excited, so I have no problems dancing with the earnings date, and I've had great success. Well, guess what? Peloton slapped me in the head because now I am screwed where my daughter made money. Now, here's the backstory. Remember I told you I bought my daughter shares at 85? I think she picked up about $4 for that. That's $400 in the bag. Then a day later, Peloton jumps to 88. And I'm thinking about that email I wrote to my members where I talked about this thing has hit support. It can move higher. All the chart indicators are lining up for Peloton to move higher. And that's exactly what it started to do. John's right again. I go ahead, I buy 200 shares at 88. I wanted 300 shares, but I said to myself, look, if this trade goes against me, I'm going to keep 100 shares back, meaning I'm going to keep the cash back, so maybe I can do a cash secure put if the stock were to fall. So I buy 200 shares at 88, and I try to sell a covered call. I mentioned this to the members where on that Friday, I tried to get a price that was a couple pennies away from what I wanted. It didn't take, so we wake up Monday morning, and I was going to write a covered call. Stock is popping to 93 now, and I am absolutely shocked, and I take advantage of it. So at 93, I'm already up $5 on this trade. At 93, I write the at the money strike, and I think I picked late November. I wanted that fat premium. I'm loving it. I actually see Peloton moving higher. Well, I knew earnings was coming, didn't really know the date, and then it hit. Then Peloton gets rocked, and it falls some 35%, and all hell's breaking loose. So I wake up the next morning, because I saw this in aftermarket. I wake up the next morning, and I'm prepared to go into my daughter's account and see what I have done. Yeah, I'm totally anticipating she is down a couple grand. Now I log in, and I see she has the full account position. She has no active positions. And then it dawned on me. I picked the October 29th expiration date. She had her shares taken away at 85. There's some sucker out there, it was probably me, right? Some sucker out there got her shares at 85. So this is how fickle this can be, right? One person sees opportunity, the other one is now crying in their beer. This is why we want to avoid earnings, because now she's good. She made money. But for me, I am left holding this bag. So let me tell you where I'm at. Right now, this option, this $6 option that I got paid when I sold this, when it was trading at 93x, I sold the at the money and I got $6. Now that's great on 200 shares. That's $1,200 to the good, man. I was living the good life, right? Well, now because of this, look what we got. I'm down some $6,000 on this trade, and I am in a world of hurt. Now, if we take away the $1,200, for which I've already bought this back for like 10 cents. So my obligation to give somebody my shares at 93, which nobody would have done, but that expires in like 3 weeks. I took it off the board, paid 10 cents. What am I left with? I'm left with about $1,200. But I'm in the hole with shares being down $6,000. So right now I'm down a fat $4,800, and this all happened because I did not adhere to the golden rule, the top 5 golden rule of selling premium, whether writing cover calls or selling cash secure puts. We need to avoid earnings. I know some of you out there are snickering and you're like, yeah, you've been dancing on that earnings number all year with the stocks you're playing. But with experience and with success, I get a little loose. Hey, look, I'm not going to apologize. And the premiums can be juicier around earnings. But I'll tell you what, this is a moment that I wanted to show you guys. I wanted to show you that during earnings, we get our most volatile moments. And really sit back and use that 30-day window. That's why on my dashboard, the upgraded CTP dashboard, when I load it every single week, stocks that fall within the 30-day window are red. And in fact, there's a button to turn off the view of all stocks that have a red earnings date, because we want to get rid of those stocks. We don't want those stocks creating noise on our dashboard. We only want to see stocks that avoid the earnings date. So learn from me. Okay, learn from me right now. Going forward, if you're going to sell premium during earnings, you better understand the stock you're trading. Because had a company like Cisco missed their earnings, this thing probably would have fell a couple bucks. But when we're talking Peloton, who might have a light float anyway, and nobody supports it, I mean, you can clearly hear on CNBC, man, nobody has faith in this stock. I'll tell you, we want to reduce the risk, and it is the reason avoiding earnings is a golden rule when selling premium. Now, you know I'm going to send out an email this weekend and all next week about stocks that are trading. Absolutely an awesome time to be selling premium in this market. I still have 2 months to go. I made $101,000. I'm trying to get to $110,000. But like I mentioned, I got a lot of unrealized losses, and I'm going to take those losses so the tax man doesn't come knocking as hard as he did last year. But hey, with that said, absolutely proved that I can generate $101,000 cash on the table, paying the bills, living a good life. You can too. So look, if you want to join me, 1 free month, I give it to you right up front. 1 free month offer. Go get it. CPTdashboard.com. Click Upgraded Dashboard. Would love to welcome you aboard. Now look, if you like that picture of Jerry and I in the Millionaires Club, I want you to go to Facebook, search CPT Dashboard, and follow my page. That's where I post up stuff like that all the time. Hey, look, I'm going to leave it there. Be safe, be healthy, most important, be lucky. And until next time, may all your covered calls be profitable.